there, my name is Jasmine Sky, and I'm here today with another writing revising vlog. This is kind of part 2 to my last revising vlog, which was my draft 4 vlog, which I will link down below, where I talked about working on my first draft that I'm working on with my literary agent. So if you haven't seen my How I Got My Agent story, I will also link that below. But anyway, yes, I have previously done 3 drafts of this YA novel that I'm working on. Draft 3 was what got me my agent, and then with my agent notes, I revised and made a draft 4, which my agent got back to me recently and did really love the revision, which was really exciting. But there is a couple more things that she wants me to tweak and fix before we go out on sub with it, which is understandable. That's how this goes. However, it's not so much work that I would consider it a draft 5. So this is my draft 4.5 vlog because it's just kind of a part 2 to that draft 4 vlog, and we're gonna fix up my book. So that's what I'm doing over the next like 10 days. So it is currently September 26th, and I have until October 5th to do this draft 4.5 revision and send it back to my agent. So it's not a lot of time, but I think I will be fine, and I think I will get all of the stuff done. I did have a 2-hour-long phone call with my agent a couple days ago, and I wrote down so many notes on that phone call of what I needed to do. And then yesterday I went through all those notes and I compiled it into a Word document and organized it and thought a little bit more about some of the points and how I might do them. And it looks like a lot of notes, but the actual substance of the revision is not that bad. It's just a lot of little things, and then the sort of primary issue that I'm going to have to deal with in this revision, the number one thing, is that my word count is currently, according to my Word document, 99,859 words, and I need to cut it down to below 95,000. Basically, there is a little too much world building, which that makes sense. I am a world builder. I absolutely love, as Mary called it, geeking out over my world and over the logistics of it. But some of those places where I really sit in the logistics of my world a bit too long take away from the tension of the story. It's a very fast-paced YA fantasy story, and so it needs to keep that very tight pacing. And so those sort of extended world building scenes are not great for the pacing. So Mary really thinks that I can find a lot of places to streamline. She doesn't want me to delete any scenes that exist necessarily. So like, you know, I'm not completely taking away from the world building that I'd put in. I just need to streamline it all down so that it's a sort of more simplified version of the explanation, not in the sense that I am going to like decrease the reading level, but just I don't need to go into as much detail about things related to the political situation or the magic system or anything related to the world, because that's not the point of this book, and that's just not really the style of young adult in general. Which is someone who writes both young adult and adult, like that's something I feel like I'm going to constantly run into issues with my young adult stuff. I'm always going to probably overwrite my explanations for the world, because that's something that is more sort of sought out in adult science fiction and fantasy, I think. Hopefully that explained that okay. That's basically what I took from my conversation with Mary. And then of course, like I said, there's a lot of other like little things that we can polish up, but she said that, you know, that was really the primary thing. The plan, the like goal, is to get my overall word count back around 95K, which it was at before I did that draft 4 revision, and then draft 4 pushed it up right now as it is almost at 100K. So we're going to try to push it back down to 95K by cutting a ton of the extraneous world information, and then maybe replacing some of that extraneous world information with some more character-driven stuff. So that's that. It's now Monday, September 28th. I had a couple more clips from this weekend. I had a busy weekend and the clips just didn't make sense, and we're just gonna move past that. So you saw the intro of me starting this revision vlog on Saturday, but now I'm gonna explain what I actually have gotten done over the weekend and talk about what I plan to do this coming week, which is literally, that's the revision, that's it. I had last weekend, I have a full week from today, Monday, and that's that. This last weekend, I explained a little bit about what I need to do with this revision, what I talked about with Mary, etc. Now, Mary had suggested that I would go through my entire book once and cut as much as I could, streamline that world building like I talked about, and then go back in and add some of the stuff that we had talked about that are just like a bunch of little things, expanding out a little bit more with the character arcs and stuff like that. And I started to do that this weekend, and in the process of going through the first couple chapters, I kind of failed in the idea of saving the addition for later, because as I saw the places where I needed to add those little things, which really like there's no more than just like a couple paragraphs of addition here and there. And not even that sometimes it's just like a sentence or two of little things that just I needed to add in to kind of make the character arcs and things like that a lot more logical or smoother, etc. So when I saw the places those would need to go in the chapters, I just wrote them in, because it would have taken just as much time to put a comment in that section saying put this in later as it did for me to actually just put it in as I was doing it. So that just worked better for me. You know, hopefully that works for some of the longer editions that are gonna have to happen later. I got through 3 chapters this weekend, which wasn't as many as I wish I could have. I wish I could have gotten 6. 3 chapters a day is kind of like my goal in my head, but this was a very busy weekend. It was my birthday weekend. My birthday was on Friday, and there was just a lot going on, lots of Skype calls and, you know, birthday celebration stuff, and that's just what it was. So I got 3 chapters done, which is great. We're gonna call that a success and a good start. And then for the rest of this week, we're gonna continue to do 3 chapters a day. That should equal me finishing on Saturday. So then I'll still have Sunday and Monday as either catch-up days. So if there's a day that I am not able to get 3 chapters done, I have those 2 leeway days, or just as days where I can reread the book again and make sure it's what I want, because potentially this is the last revision before we go on sub. I have done 1 more chapter. I completed chapter 4, and I really did not cut much at all. I got down to 99,104 words, so what was that, 53 words? I'm doing great. But chapter 5 is, yeah, we're got more cutting to do and stuff. So I just finished chapter 5, and as you can see by the word count there, I ended up adding words. I actually did cut a bit down, but then I revised half of a scene. Like I completely rewrote half of a scene to fix the tension and make the pacing even stronger, and that added words. It ended up being 99,145. That's great. I mean, the chapter's stronger now, but yeah, I still need to cut a lot. So let's move on to chapter 6 and see how well I can do there. Success! I have finished chapter 6, and I'm actually feeling pretty good about this word count, 98,766, because I had to add a section that Mary and I had talked about for the character arcs, and so I was worried that I wouldn't get a lot cut from chapter 6, but I did streamline down several sections of that chapter, which is exciting. Still a long way to go, but that was only 6 of 21. And I think looking ahead to chapter 7, that there is a lot that I can really cut down in chapter 7. Like there's a lot of just unnecessary world building stuff there that I can streamline. So yeah, but we're gonna leave that for tomorrow. It's Tuesday night. Yes. And I just finished the presidential debate. Enough said. Let's work on my book. It's almost 11 p.m. now, but I did my 3 chapters. I did 7, 8, and 9, and I was doing pretty good on the word count. I got some stuff cut in 7 and 8 and cut at the beginning of 9 as well, a little bit. But then towards the middle end of chapter 9, I ended up adding like a solid section of a scene because it was one of the things that my agent and I had talked about needing to be added. And that brought my word count back up again. So my current word count is 98,583. I don't actually remember what I ended last night at, but I think it was probably pretty similar to this. So in a sense, I made no progress today in terms of trying to get my word count down to 95,000. But I did make progress in terms of streamlining and then adding a scene that helped with the character arc. So that's good. It's late and I took a shower, so I'm in my pajamas and I've got my hair braided for bed and all of that. And my dog is ripping up a toy and I need to clean up all the stuffing that is everywhere. But anyway, I just did my 3 chapters for the day. And I got it down to 97,971 words, so that's like, almost 2,000 words less than where we started, which is exciting. However, I did make a note that in this last chapter, chapter 12, I have a scene that I need to add. That was one of the scenes that I talked about with my agent. For the character arcs. I feel like I've said that a lot, but you know what I mean. Like I have a couple scenes that I need to add. It's not a full scene, it's just like a little section, a little extension to a scene, basically, and I discovered a good place to put it in chapter 12, but I'm just not, I just can't tonight. So I'm gonna leave that. It is Friday, the 2nd. And I did not vlog yesterday because kind of last minute I had to come here to a friend's house because I am pet sitting for them until Monday. So for the rest of this vlog, you will see me here at my friend's place. So yesterday did a lot of like packing and like getting ready to come over and stay here for 4 days. And oh my God, Dot, hey. And it's chaos. There are 2 dogs and 3 cats running wild right now. The cats are all kittens, which makes it worse. And my dog is still technically a puppy because he turns a year old this month. And there's a lot. There's a lot going on. But anyway, I did not vlog yesterday, but I did do a little bit of revising before bed. I got to... I finished up to chapter 15, and my word count is, I did some cutting, but I also did some adding. So we are at 97,560 words. So that's fun. There's kind of 3 elements left to this revision. Element 1 is just finishing going through the book and cutting what I can. Element 2 is adding in the sections I had talked about with my agent to fluff up the character arcs. And element 3 is going back again to that break into Act 2 section and trying to cut even more because I think I'm gonna need to cut more there. I think what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna go through and finish streamlining and cutting the last 6 chapters. I do know of some places where I'm gonna need to like rewrite some scenes a little bit or add some stuff for the character arcs, but instead of doing those right now, I think I'm just gonna make a note that they need to go there and just do all 6 chapters tonight. I made it through chapter 18, so I did 16, 17, 18. And I also went back to 5, 6, and 7 and tried to do just a little more trimming. And then I added that scene to chapter 13 that I never wrote, that I like did a comment saying it needed to be there, but I just never wrote it, so I just did that. So with all of that combined, I actually was able to cut a fair number of words, which is exciting. I'm at 96,795 words, so even with the scene I added, like, we're doing good. And then I started working on 19 because I was just in the zone, but 19 is complicated with this revision. This is one of sort of the big moments that need to be revised for a better flow with the character arcs and things. I am gonna leave that for tomorrow because I'm tired and I did good work today, I think. So getting down into the 96,000 range feels good. I still have 1,795 words to go to get to my ultimate goal. And at this point, I don't know that that's gonna happen, so that's a little scary. But, you know, we're just gonna push through to the end and then see how it's going. And my camera battery is getting low, and I just realized that I didn't bring my charger to my friend's house, so I might be finishing this vlog on my phone, which is gonna be like a weird lighting shift, but we'll go with it. Hi. So it's Saturday, and I know I said I was gonna do revisions all Saturday, but it's like an hour till dinner, and I'm just getting started. So that's okay though, because I think I did a decent amount yesterday. I definitely am going to finish the book today in terms of going through. We'll see how that goes. It's now the evening on Saturday still, and I got to the end of the book, which is great. There wasn't much that needed to change in the last 2 chapters. Those were the chapters that I did the most revision for in the previous revision, which you can see if you watch that draft 4 revision vlog. But the chapter before that, I ended up basically completely rewriting, almost entirely. And in fact, I still have to write a scene for it, which I'm estimating will be about 1,000 words. Which will be good because the way that I restructured the chapter, like that's how many words I need to make the chapter a good length for pacing. It's bad because right now, after having finished the book, not having written that scene, my word count is 96,323 words. So if I add 1,000 words, I'm back up at 97,300-ish words. And that means I really did not cut that much. I did a lot of work today. Like I said, I almost completely rewrote chapter 19, barring 1,000 word scene. So I'm gonna sit on this tonight and I'm gonna write that scene in the morning. Well, hello there. It is Monday, aka the day of my deadline for this draft 4.5 revision. And I didn't update you yesterday because my camera battery died. But I'm home now, as you can see. So we are all good to go for me to do my last day and finish up and wrap up and all of that. So I did finish the final scene that I had left to write, and it was great, and I think it works really well, and it completes that chapter 19 that I almost completely rewrote for this revision. And then I pulled it down because I had to use some of the details from that scene in the last two chapters, so I had made sure that it all fit. So my word count currently is at 97,325 words, which means I cut about 2,500 words total. But I went ahead and calculated it out and like pulled out everything I had added versus what I deleted because I was curious about how much work I did with this revision. And I actually cut over 9,000 words in this revision, but then I added about 6,000 words, which is how we get to this word count that I'm at. So I wanted to be at 95,000, but I think everything I added was important and it really enhanced things. And it was mostly added towards the end. So the part that Mary was most worried about, that break into Act 2 and that dragging, like I did cut stuff at the beginning a lot, and then I just beefed up Act 3 basically. So yeah, I think it's okay. I'm gonna reread my book one more time, maybe do some little edits, we'll see. It is nighttime now on Monday, but I just finished rereading my entire book and I'm so happy with it. Like, I really think that this draft 4.5 just pushed it to that next level, even more so. It's funny because I can see why Mary had wanted just one more polishing revision, because the big changes I made in draft 4 were all really good, but basically what I did in draft 4.5 was just connect some of those changes in a stronger way that created a much better flow overall. And then also streamlining and cutting down some of the extraneous information helped with the flow too. So like now the book is just, the pacing is on point, the characters and their arcs are great, the logic of the story is great, like the ending just makes me want to cry, and it's my own book, and like, not because it's a sad ending, it's a good ending, but you know, it's emotional. The climax is emotional, and I literally am tearing up, and I'm just like, I love this book. I love this book. I'm so happy with it. In rereading the book, I did manage to cut just a little bit more, so my final word count is 97,149 words, which is fine, but I really think that the things Mary was concerned about in terms of the word count were all related to flow, and I think I did a good job with this revision. I hope she agrees. I don't have anything else I want to change about this book at this point. I'm sure in the future I'll want to / have to do another revision and another polishing, but like right now, I can't think of a big thing I developmentally want to change about this book. That's that. I'm going to save this document and send it off to my agent, and we're gonna call it good for this vlog. I'm sorry that the vlog was kind of all over the place and kind of a mess. This week was kind of strange, and you know, that last minute house sitting that I had to do, and I kept forgetting to update you guys at various points and stuff like that, so whatever, we made it work. As always, please check out my description for links to causes that you should support if you can, because they really need support. If you're interested in more videos on my channel and my publishing journey, please subscribe, please like this video, and I look forward to chatting with y'all in the comments.